So in the last session we have discussed about the some of the aggregate functions in SQL Server. So what are the aggregate functions we have in SQL Server? Those are aggregate functions in SQL Server. Sum of, minimum of, max of, count of, and average of. Okay, so these are the aggregate functions we have in the SQL Server to aggregate the data and give the result. Okay, so I have a table, employee table. So in this table I want to apply these functions and to find out the what are the total salaries paying to the employees, and total how many employees we have, and what is the maximum salary we are paying, and what is the minimum salary we are paying to the employee, and total average salary for each employee. Okay, so if you want to find out the total salary, sum of salary you have to take. Don't forget to give alias name, total salary. And if you want to find out the total number of employees, count star. Okay, so alias name is total employee. So the next one is what is the minimum salary. You have to use the min of salary as minimum salary, comma, what is the max salary as max salary, comma, what is the average salary, that is as average salary. Okay, so these are the functions we have in the SQL Server to find out the minimum salary and maximum salary and average salary of the employee from a. So why it is displaying salary column as invalid column? So it's there, right? Yeah, now it's coming. Okay, so if you are executing this one, it will give the total sum of the salary, and this function will give the total salary to 8226, and this will give the total count of the employees. It is just counting the number of rows in your table. So definitely each row is a one employee information. So we have total 14 employees. And what is the minimum salary? Minimum salary we are paying is 1 rupee. And what is the maximum salary? It is 5000. And what is the average salary is 2016. Okay, right. So these all the salaries are coming in the one organization level. But now my requirement is I want to find out the same sum of salaries and the total number of employees and minimum salary, maximum salary, and average salary for each department wise. Okay, so if you observe here, we have 14 employees. So all these 14 employees belongs to the 3 departments in my organization. Okay, so now what I want to find out, I want to find out the total sum of salary and average salary in each department wise. Sorry, so I want to sort this data. Okay, so right, so I want to do here only all department number. Right, so this is the data we have. Okay, right. So total how many employees in your department number 10? So we have 3 employees. So the result what I am expecting is department number is 10, and what is the total salary? Total salary and the next one is total number of EMP, and what is the minimum salary and what is the maximum salary and average salary. So this is the result I am expecting. So department number 10. So total how many employees you have in the department number 10? So I have 3 employees. What is the total salary you are paying? That is, if you are combining these three, 8750. 8750. And the next one is minimum salary. So what is the minimum salary out of these three values? So it is 1300. Okay, and what is the maximum salary? It's a 5000. And what is the average salary? So the average salary is nothing but 8750 divided by 3. So the value is 2916.667. Okay, so this is the value is coming. So in this way you have to calculate for the department number 20 also, and again for the department number 30. So here if you have very less volume of the data, you can do this manually. If you have 1 crore of the employees in a organization, so how can you find out? So all this 1 crore of the employees belongs to different departments. So each department wise we are going to group the people. Okay, so how can we do this in SQL Server? Okay, so on which column basis you want to do this grouping? I want to do this grouping on the department number wise. So in this query you have to add the department number column. Okay, so you just execute this query, it will throw an error. So what is this error? The column emp.department number means this column is invalid in the select list. Select list means these are the list in the selection. So it is invalid in the select list because that is error. Please read the error message. Because it is not contained. Where it is not contained in either aggregate function. Okay, so either you have to put this department number also in any of one aggregate function, or if you are not using this column inside the aggregate function, you have to put in the group by class. So whenever you are using any aggregate function in the select list, the remaining columns, all columns, either you have to use inside the aggregate function or you have to put in the group by class. Group by which column? Department number. So I want to do this on grouping by the department number. I want to group this department number 3 records into one group, and these into second group, and these into third group. Okay, so that is the thing you have specified here. Okay, because all the remaining columns you have mentioned inside a aggregate function. The only one column you didn't specify in any of one aggregate function. So you have to put that function in the group by class. Sorry, that column in the group by class. So now we can execute. See, the data is coming. Department number 10, 20, 30. The total salary is 8750, 10076 and 9400. Okay, total EMP for department number 10 is 3 and department number 20 is 5 and department number 30 is 6. This is the minimum salaries, maximum salaries, average salaries. That is group by class. Okay, right. So now what I want to do, normally if you want to filter the data, how can you filter the data? This is the data I have in a table. Okay, if you want to write down any where conditions or filter conditions, so you have to use the where keyword. Okay, where department number equal to 10 or 20 or whatever you can write down. So it will give only department number 20th information. So whatever the query here you have writing, so this is giving some result, right? So from this result I want to filter the data. What filter? So whatever the departments, after aggregating this result, so it is giving the each department wise total number of employees. after aggregating the data, so whatever the departments having the number of employees greater than 4. So how many departments are there? Only 2 departments are having the number of employees greater than 4. The first department having only 3. So what I am expecting? Only last 2 departments, because these 2 departments are satisfying my condition. So how can you write down this filter condition? Are we going to use where condition? No. The where condition you can't use here, because this is the aggregated data. How you are getting this aggregated data? By doing this group by and aggregate function. This count star is giving the total EMP. Okay, so in that situation you have to write down the having condition, having count star greater than 4. Okay, because this result we are getting by using this function. So what I am going to do here, I want to write down the filter condition on the aggregate function. If you want to write down any filter condition on the aggregate function, so you have to use having clause only. Okay, you have to use the having clause only. Right. So if you are executing this query, what will happen? See, department number 20, 30 only is coming. The reason why it is getting department number 20 and 30 is because you have written the condition having, I want the data only the aggregated value, the total number of employees which department having more than 4. So only these 2 departments having. So then what is the difference between the having and where clause? This is very important interview question. Okay, so normally the where condition is also going to filter the data, but it is filtering on the normal SQL Server table data. Okay, so if you want to filter any of one value here, so you can write down, but the having clause is to filter the data on after the aggregate function. Okay, so on a particular aggregate function, if you want to apply this filter, yes, you can apply the filter, or you can write down the, so here we are putting this filter on the total number of employees, that is count star. If you want to put on the sum of the salary, for example, whatever the departments the salary is greater than 10,000, I am expecting only that department. So what you have to write down, instead of count star, sum of salary greater than 10,000. So it will give only one department. So this is the only one department we have the salary greater than 10,000. Okay, right. So now what we have to do, whatever the result is coming here, so I am going to take this is 4. Okay, sorry, not sum of, count of. So 20 and 30 is coming. So here if you observe, it is displaying the result in ascending order. Ascending order means first the small value it is displaying, and the second it is displaying the highest value. So what I want to do, I want to display these values in descending order. Descending order means highest value is 30 and then 20th department record. Okay, so how can you change the order when you are going to display the data? So for that we have the class, that is order by. Order by, on which column basis you want to do this ordering? I want to do this ordering on the department number basis. Okay, so if you are not specifying anything, either it is ascending order or either it is descending order, so it will take ascending order by default. Okay, it will take ascending order by default. See, 20, 30. So if you are specifying it is a descending order, it will take 30 and 20. highest value is coming first. So whatever the column you are specifying here, it will sort the data on that particular column basis. Okay, so if you can specify on the second column also. So I want to make the order first on department number wise. Whatever the department number is highest value, I want to make the sorting on the department number wise. Then the second priority I want to give in each department. For example, in the department number 30, you have 10 records. Okay, so these 10 records, how you are going to sort? I want to sort on the total salary. So whoever the salary is less, I want to display that record first. That is ascending order on the total salary. So you can write down this way. Now here you can't write down the on the total salary because that is a alias name. So you can't use any alias names over here in the same query. Okay, so that you have to write down in another derived table that we will discuss later. Okay, right. For example, here I have a small query like this way. This is the query. So when you are going to display the data, I want to display the data for department number 20, 10. 20, 10, department number 10. So what I want to do when I am going to display this data, I want to display on the order by department number descending order. See, first it is displaying the highest value, the department number 20th value, and second department number 10. So then after the second priority I am going to give here is based on the salary. In the department number 20, so I want to display the whoever having highest salary, the employee information I want to display first. See here in the department number 20, you did a department number descending order, means highest department it will display first. So inside this department number 20 there are 4 more employees are there. So on which basis you want to display the information? By default it is taking the ascending order on the salary. So whoever having a least salary it is displaying. But what I want to do, I want to display whoever having the highest salary inside the department number first. Okay, so you can specify one more thing here. That is, sorry, not here, comma, salary, descending order. See, the 20th department it is displaying first. Inside the 20th department, whoever having the highest salary 3000, it is displaying first. Even in the department number 10 also, whoever having the salary highest, so it is displaying that one. Okay, so that is the order by clause in the SQL Server. Okay, so if you observe in the SQL Server, whenever you are going to write down any SQL command, so what is the flow and what is the structure of the SQL command? So what are the clauses you have to use and what is the order of the execution of the SQL command? So definitely the first thing we are going to write down in the select command is select whenever you are retrieving any data. So then after the list of the columns you are going to specify. List of columns, your wish. Okay, what are the list of the columns you are going to specify? That is your list. So then after what you are going to do here, immediately from class you are going to write down. So this order you have to follow everywhere and whenever you are going to write down the select statement. Select the list of columns, okay, and from class then the table name you have to write down. Then after, if you want to write down any filter condition, yes, you can write down the where condition. Okay, then after immediately you have to write down group by class. If you want to use, if you are using any aggregate functions, and if you want to do the data and grouping on a particular column, so you can use group by. Then after, if you want to filter the data on a particular aggregate function, you can use having, not having by, just having. Then after, the last one is the order by. So this is the order we have to follow everyone. You can't change the you can't alter the order of the SQL command. For example, if you want to write down the order by class before the group by, or a group by I want to write down last. No. If you don't want to write down, you can ignore it. It's not mandatory to always use these for clauses. We are calling all these are clauses. This wording is very important, so you have to tell all these are clauses and what are the operators, what are the keywords. Okay, so from is a class, where is a class, and group by is a class, having class, order by class. Okay, we are calling all these are clauses. So the order of this select statement is, first you have to write down the from class, and then after you have to write down the, sorry, first you have to write down the select, and then from class, where class, group by, having, order by. Okay, this is the first statement, and this is the second statement, and this is the third one, this is the fourth one, and this is the fifth one, and this is the sixth one. So we'll write a sample query. Select star means it will take all the list of columns. From, I'm going to write down next. So then I immediately have to write down the table name. If you want to filter data, okay, where I want to take the department number in 10 comma 20. Okay, so I'm filtering the data. So then after, what do you want to do? If you want to apply any groupings, okay, I'm going to write down department number comma sum of salary comma count of employees. These two are enough for me. Okay, so the alias name I'm going to give, because whenever you are doing some expressions or some functions on a particular columns, so immediately you have to write down alias name, otherwise it display no column name. Total salary as total employees. Okay, right. So what you have to write down, group by class, group by on department number. And if you want to apply any filter, yes, you can apply the filter, right? And this is where class, and this is group by class. And in the having, I want to filter having COUNT count of salary greater, sorry, not count of salary, sum of salary greater than 5,000 or 8,000. Then in which order you want to display the data, order by department number, descending order. Okay, so we are following the this order. Select statement is the first one, and from is the second one, and where is the third one, the group by is the fourth one, having, order by. So in this order you have to write down a SQL query. Okay, so don't confuse. So but inside the SQL server, how it is executing, the flow, what is the flow of the execution of the SQL command? So the people are thinking like this way. First it is going to start from here, and the second from class, where class, group by, having, order by. No, it is not executing like this. it will start the execution from the from class onwards. This is the first statement it is going to execute. From here onwards it will start the execution. It don't start the execution of the select command. The select is the last one. The order of the execution is the from class is the first one, and if you have where class it is the second one, and if you have a group by then this is the third one, this is the fourth one, this is the fifth one. The final one is select command. The order of the execution is this one. First it will execute from class, where class, group by, having, order by, finally select. Okay, so we'll show. For example, the from class, what it will do? First it will take all the data from the EMP table like this way. Select star from EMP. Because in the from class what you have written? From EMP table. Okay, from EMP table I want to take the all the data. See, all this data it is coming. So then immediately what it will do? It will filter the where class. So it is going to filter this condition. What is this condition? So in this EMP table I want only department number 10 and 20. Okay, so then after after filtering the data, it is getting department number 10 and 20. So then immediately what you did? I did group by. So it is going to do the group by on department number. So if it is doing the group by, then what it will get? After it is grouping by, so it will get this result like this way, like this way. So after it is grouping, so again it is going to filter the data. So what is that filter condition? Having the salary greater than 8,000. So these two departments having salary greater than 8,000. So it will give these two records. Then after it will do the order by. So it is changing the order of 20 to 10. Finally, the select command will execute and will display the result. Once you are executing this command if you are starting the execution inside the SQL server, first it will start from class, it will filter the data, it will group the data, again it will filter the aggregated data, and finally it will sort the data, finally it will display the data, that is select command. Okay, so this is the order of the execution of a SQL command in SQL server. Okay, so these are the aggregate functions in SQL server. Okay, and these are the group by class, having class, order by class, and select. So the interview question here it is, what is the difference between where class and having class? Very important interview question. Definitely they will ask in interviews. So what is the difference between these two classes? The where class, you can apply filter on normal SQL columns data, but the having class, you can apply filter condition on aggregate functions. So this where class you have to write down always after table name. After table name means wherever you are writing the SQL query. So this is from EMP. Immediately you have to write down the group by class. See here. See where condition you have to write down after the table name. But the having class, always you have to write down after group by class. After group by only you have to write down the having class. So after group by I have written having. So what is the default order it is going to display, even though if you are not giving the order by class? Ascending order. Ascending order means smallest value first it will display. For example, like this way, 10, 20, 30. Descending order means highest value it is going to display first, 30, 20, 10. Okay, so these are the aggregate functions and classes. So the next part is coming to the functions. So total how many kinds of functions we told? So one is aggregate functions. So just now we have discussed. The next one is string functions. So what are the string functions we have in SQL Server? So some of the functions we have in the SQL Server are left, right, ldrim, rtrim function, okay, length function, data length function, what is the next? Substring function, char index function, reverse function, replace function, and the next one is null if function, is null function, and callback function. So these are the most popular string functions in the SQL Server. String functions means all these functions we are going to apply mostly on the varchar and varchar char data types. On strings, if you want to do any manipulations, for example. So what is this left function will do? I have a table, select employee number, employee name, salary, comma, job from EMP. Okay. So in this employee name, for each employee, I am expecting the 2 characters from the left side. I am going to expect L employee name, new column I am going to derive here. So I am applying a function on the employee name, 2 characters from the starting. What are the 2 characters from here? SM. What are the 2 characters here? AL. What are the 2 characters over here? WA. So in this way, the 2 characters from the left side. So what is the function you have to use? Left of. On which column we are going to apply this? Employee name column. How many characters you are expecting? 2 characters. So alias name, L employee name. You can give any name, no problem. See, it is taking two characters from the left side. It will start the counting from the left side. SM, AL, WA, JO, MA, BL, CL, C, CL, BL, MA. all we are getting. Clear? So if you want 3 characters, simply change in the place of 2, you can put 3. It will give 3 characters from the starting of the left side. It will start the counting from the left side, and once it is finding the 3 characters, yes, it will give 3 characters. The same way, now I want to start the right side. I want 3 characters from the right side. What are the 3 characters? NES, AKE, OTT, NER, MES. Okay, so how can we do this one? The function you have to use is write function. Write of, and which column? Employee name. How many characters? 3 characters I'm expecting. See, 3 characters we are getting. That is, under Smith, last 3 characters are ITH, right? So in this way you can find out the right side 3 characters and left side 3 characters. You can specify any number, so it will get that many number of characters. Clear? So the next function is LTrim. So what exactly this LTrim and RTrim will do? Trim means these are going to trim the data. So for example, so by mistakenly whenever you are going to insert data into EMP table, so I want to insert the data into employee name column, values RAM. Yes, so if you are inserting this one, it will insert only these 3 characters. By mistakenly you have inserted some space over here, this much of space. So how can you remove this space when you are going to display the data? You have inserted this record here. So left side there is some space is inserted. Okay, so the same way by mistakenly you have inserted some space in the right side also. If you want to remove the right side space, you have to use RTrim, and if you want to remove the left side space, LTrim. If you want to do both, so you have to use both functions on a column. So how can you remove this one? You can write down like this way: select employee number, employee name, salary from EMP. So on which column you want to write down this LTrim function? If you want to remove the left side spaces, you have to write down like this way: LTrim employee name. If you want to remove right side space, or trim the employee name. On which column you want to remove the spaces. If we want to remove both side, so there is a space for left side as well as right side. So you can write down this combination of both functions. How many open brackets you have on? So that many number of closed brackets you have to put. So it will remove any spaces for left side and right side for that string. It will remove and it will display. That is the LTrim and RTrim. To remove the spaces in right side or left side. Okay, clear, right? So what is the right function, what is the left function? Those will get the number of records from the left side and right side. and L-trim R-trim will remove the spaces from the left side and right side. And the next one is length function and data length function. What is the length function? In this employee name column in the EMP table, how many characters we have for each employee? Here it is 5. Here it is 5. Here it is 4. Here it is 5. So if you want to find out the number of characters in a particular string, so you can use length function. Length of employee name. See, it is counting the number of characters in each employee name. Okay, so that is length function. It is just counting the number of characters. That's all. Actually, when you are inserting this RAM, how many bytes of the space it is using? 3 bytes. Each character 1 byte. Total 3 characters, 3 byte space it is using. By mistakenly, if you are inserting the space, even though when you are applying the length function on this column, it is giving the count is 3 only, because the length function will count only the number of characters. Here how many characters you have? 3 characters. But actually how many bytes of the space it is used? For these 3 characters, 3 bytes, as well as this space, how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 spaces. Each space 1 byte. So total 2, 3, 4, 5 and 3 characters. Total 8 bytes of the space it is using. Okay, total 8 bytes of the space it is using. So how can you get this even though for the spaces also for the length of the particular string, how many number of bytes it is using? So you have to use the data length function instead of length function. If you are using data length function, this is the function. Clear? The length function will give the counting the number of characters. The data length will counting the number of bytes. So in the length function, it don't count the spaces, but in the data length function, it will count the whatever the space, how many bytes it is using for the length function. Okay, right. So the next function we are going to discuss is null function. So what is this is null function will do? If you observe here, employee number, employee name, salary, okay, and commission column from EMP. So it is giving this result: employee number, employee name, salary, commission. If you observe, some of the employees commission is null value. So what I want to do, wherever the null value is displaying, I want to display I want to replace the null value with 0 or 1000. So what function you have to write down? I want to derive a separate column. Is null function. Is null, and which column? Commission column. If it is finding any null value, I want to replace that with 1000. See, it is null. So it is replacing null with 1000. It is also null, replacing with 1000. These are all the null values, replacing with 1000, 1000, 1000. Okay, so you can replace with any value. Whatever the value you are putting over here, it will replace that with that value wherever it is finding null value. If it is not null, it will place same value 300. It is placing with 300 only. It is not altering, it is not changing anything. Okay, right. So the next thing is, what exactly the meaning of null and zero? This employee value is 0 commission, and this employees is null, means so this particular employee is eligible for the commission. Null means these people are not eligible for the commission. This employee is eligible, but as of now his commission is 0 only. It may be increased, but the remaining people, it's a null value. Okay, right. That is about the is null function. So what is a reverse function? The reverse function will reverse the any string. Select employee name from EMP. So whatever the employee name it is displaying, I want to reverse that employee name. Reverse employee name column. It will display the string in reverse manner. See, 4 it is displaying DROF. Okay, so other than these functions, whatever the remaining functions we have, we'll discuss in the next session. Okay.